Now we need to now make a copy of task 2 so that we can use it in task C rather. So here we want to select save as, because we want to ensure that we have both copies. You notice I have payment 1 task A, payment 2 task B. So now I want to change this to task C, and I want it to be payment number 3, and I want to save. Now let us look at what we are expected to do in task C. It says here, the principal, in a bid to encourage the payment of balances, has decided to reduce the interest rate to 6.5%. So that's the first thing we want to do. We want to go to our spreadsheet and we want to change, let's go to our task A here. We want to change the interest. Remember, the interest is made on tri-payments. So we want to change this to 6.5%. Now once you change that, it should automatically change all the values here. You notice that wherever you had 7.5% is now changed to 6.5%. Awesome. Good. So that was done, and our calculations were automatically done. It says the principal has also made plans to present a report to the board chairman who is interested in the payment plans along with expected revenues to be collected. What are you required to do? Make the necessary changes to the spreadsheet to indicate the change in the interest rate. We did that. Make sure we did that. So we're going to check to see where our interest rate is 6.5%. It says we are to create a pie chart to illustrate the total number of students in each payment plan group, and you are to give your chart an appropriate name and place it on a separate sheet. How are we going to do that? Let's see. The first thing you want to do is you must now create data to use for your chart. So I want to go to my summary sheet, because this is where I'm going to put all my summary. So I want to count the number of students for each category. So I'm going to call this table number of students in each category. Let me say in each payment category. Good. And I want to call this field type, or rather payment method, and I want to call this number of students. So we have a full and we have our tri-payment method. So in order to calculate the number of students, we're going to use a similar formula to what we did here, and that is our count if. Good. So we're going to be using our count if to equal count if. We're going to go to task A, and we're going to say count here, and we're going to see if it is equal So it will return the value for E4. Let me do my formula again so that I can find the number of students who did the by payment method. And I want to select my range of cells again, and I want to go to, I'm going to put in quotation marks, by payment, close quotation and my brackets. It gives me 15 here. So I want to find the value too for try payments. So I'm going to go to task here once more. I'm going to select all the cells. So I'm checking, and I want to say in quotation, look for try payments this time around. Close my bracket, press my enter key. So I have the number of students for each category. So let me format my table, because I always want my table to look nice and neat. And I want it to be in Times New Roman. And I want it to be font size 12. I want my table to be uniform. And here I'm just going to wrap this text here. I'm going to make this bold. I'm going to use a background color to represent. Good. So now I can do my pie chart. It says here I am to create a pie chart. So I have the data for my pie chart. So let's go. Select all the data for your pie chart. You want the names and you want the number. So then I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to select pie. And I'm going to choose a design. I like this design. Good. So my pie. So now I have my pie. I just need to ensure that I have. I'm going to select add data labels. And these are the number. I want to modify that though. Modify that. And I'm going to select other data labels. And I'm going to select more data label because I want to select percentage, and I want it to be separated by a comma. So I'm selecting percentage, and I'm going to select close. So it gives me the value, the number, and the percentage that it represents. Good. Now I want to select my chart label. I want to select my chart title, and I want it to say above chart. So I want to call my title chart. So I want to say number of students in payment category. Good. So that's my label. Number of students in payment category. And I was asked to make sure that it goes to a new sheet. So I'm to place it on a separate sheet. So I want to do that. So here I'm going to right click on my chart, and I'm going to say move chart, and I'm going to select a new sheet, and I'm going to call it, give it a name. So I'm going to call it pie chart. Good. And I'm going to select OK, and I have my chart on a brand new page. Good. So I have my chart label, I have my data labels for my slices, and I have my legend. So now my chart is nice and done and neat. Awesome. Now let's see what else we're asked to do. So item number 3 says we're to generate a bar graph to show the trend in fee payments for lower school, upper school, and the sixth form students. You're to use appropriate titles and labels, and you're to place the graph on a separate sheet. And here I want to do something similar to what I did for my pie chart on my summary table. Good. So I want to create another summary table to look at the payment category. Good. So I'm going to say payments made in each category of school. So I want to put now lower school, upper school, 64, and I want to insert a label. So I'm going to say school type, and I want to say amount paid. Good. Now to do this, we're going to use sum if. Now it may be the first time that you're hearing of the sum if, but if it is not, that's all good. Now the sum if, now we start with the equal sign, we select sum if. Now what the sum if will do, it will look down a range of cells, and seeing that I am looking for lower school, I'm looking for grade level, or rather I'm working with grade level and school fee. Good. So it is going to look down this range of cells, and I want to make that absolute so it doesn't shift, and it is going to look for, in my summary table, it is going to look for lower school, and it is going to look for the values paid by students who are in that category. So I want to make this absolute again because I don't want those two ranges to change. I'm going to press my enter key, and I have the value of lower school. Now I want to autofill this value here. Now you'll notice that when I autofill, the only thing that changes is this cell reference. This reference changes. So it moves from 28 to 29 and to 30. This range of cells did not change because I made it absolute, and I made this absolute. So all I did was to look down these two range of cells for each of these values, and for it to return whatever, the sum of whatever values were found. And I want to format, I like formatting, so I'm going to format to currency, and I want it to look like that with 2 decimal places. There you go. And I want to put in here total, and I want to put in a sum. Now I'm only doing this so that you can see that my count if function was correct. Same value 917,150 is the same value that we found there. And I want to format my cell. I want to use Times New Roman. Change my font size to 12. I want to make these bold. I want to merge and center this text. I also want to make it bold. I want to do this as well, and I want to add it to my table here. I'm going to remove this row here. Good. So I want to change up this a little. I want to put a background, and since I've been using green and yellow, fine. So green and yellow for my my backgrounds. And here I have my totals in bold. So I want to ensure that I save the data I have so far. Now here you're asked in this activity to generate a bar graph that will show the trending payments for all 3 schools. Good. So let's go and do our graph. Here I want to select these 4 rows. Then I'm going to go to insert, and I want a, tell you what, I'm going to use a column graph. I generally prefer a column graph. And I want to use a column graph that will do a comparison. So I want to select that. So I'm going to say lower school, upper school, 6th form. And I want to change the style, the way my graph looks. So I want to make it really nice, and I don't want blue, so I want red. Good. And I can also make it, give it a background, nice. Good. So here, and I want to just so I'm going to call it, yes, amount paid is okay. I want to change it a little. I want to say school fee paid. Good, so that's nice. And I can also add labels. Right? So I want to add labels. I go to layout, and I select data labels, and I want it inside the base, and I want the data label. Oh, I want to change that. I want it centered. Good. The next thing I want to do is I want to label my axes. Right? So I want to label my axes. So I want to say axis title, and I want to go to primary, and I'm going to select below. So I want to call this school type. Good. And I want to do my other label, and I want to make it vertical. So I want to call it amount of fee paid. Amount of fees paid. Good. I want to change the text to red. I'm going to change this text to red to distinguish them. Fine. And then I'm going to place my chart on a new sheet. So I want to call this, let me see, no, I'm going to call this school fees paid. And I want to save. That's my chart. Now I have my label, my chart label. I have my axis labels. My X and Y axis are labels. I have my data labels within my chart, and I'm comparing the payments between upper school, lower school, and 6th form. Right? And I can make changes here. So I want to make this text a little bigger, and I want to take it from, I want to say Times New Roman. And I want it to be 14. Good. I want this to be Times New Roman, but I'm gonna leave it at 12. Don't want it to be too big. Good. So I have my charts, I have all my data. Let me see if I've completed the requirements. Yes, I did, and I now need to, and I did save, so I need to just resave to ensure that I don't lose my data. So I'm gonna hit the save key to ensure I did not lose my data. No, so we have task 3. I want to move my charts. I want to put back my summary table here. So I'm going to just hold down my mouse here, and I'm going to put it right there. Oh God, too far. I don't want it all the way over there. So I want to put it here. Good. So I have my task, my extracted data, my summary, my pie charts, my school fee charts, and my spreadsheet is complete. I have met all the requirements for task A, B, and C. My spreadsheet is now complete. Next time we will look at how we do our database, and we're going to be using our spreadsheet data to do our database. See you next time.